Good evening, sports fans. This is your boy Myles. We here from WTP Sports Dudes. I'm Level Up Sports 10, and we also have post game this evening with us in the building. How's it going this evening, post game?
Man, it's going well, my brother. How you doing? Just
Man,
chilling,
feeling
relaxing, enjoying this time off, enjoying a little bit of sports. And it's a blessing to be on with you once more. How you doing, bro?
feeling pretty good, man. Same here, man. Good to see you in the building this evening. Getting through these crazy holidays as we all know, and loading up. Preparing for the new year, man. Just a quick thought, man. I know, watching a few shows, respectively, man. Anything out there for your New Year's resolution, respectively? If you don't do resolutions or however it is you do, anything that you got, or anything also you want to say to the people when it comes to that.
Oh man, you don't need a new year to start something, improve on something, get into something. You just need that proper mindset. But if I'm gonna say anything for myself, it's gonna be just probably focusing more on myself. Mind, body, spirit, everything that come with it. Sometimes we got children, we got significant others, and jobs and whatnot. Sometimes we tend to put that stuff, above our own personal needs. And this year, I probably want to focus more on myself and my own personal needs, things like that. But it's never you should never use the new year to better yourself or change something or get into something. It's a mindset thing. You dig?
I feel you. Just to double back on exactly what you said. For me, the past few years has been just that. The mindset. The group of guys we've been able to, be around and communicate with within this group. That really sets the tone for me. With my New Year's and not even being a resolution, just looking forward to what we gonna be actually doing, embarking on, and creating, and just being a part of as well. I see that we gonna be doing so many things. Already see it happening. When the new year comes. So that's one thing. Myself personally, and just stand, around like-minded people. Positivity. Stand humble, getting that word within me, whether I'm watching it live or, in there in the service live. Those are some of the things, I put to myself, not for a test, but I know is help as the year has come to, a quick close, I would say. This year's been going so fast. So for me, it's just been as it's closed, those things that's closed out the new year, but opened up different doors for me has been a part of my focus as I move into this new year, man. But one thing I can say going into another new year, man, post game, this is what going to be second new year that we have known each other, bringing it in, man. It's appreciative to get through the second one with you, bro. From here in the Midwest, from CO to South Bend, where you at, respectively. But we got quite a show today, ladies and gentlemen. We got quite a few topics to discuss, and I'm gonna just put a name up here, for everybody to see, talk about, think about. SEC Shine is in the chat. WTP for Life is in the chat. That's the name, ladies and gentlemen. Myles Garrett. What's your thoughts on Myles Garrett as he's on the verge of this sack record? Just thinking of him over the few years that he's actually graced this league so far, and he got many more to go. What's your thoughts on Myles Garrett as he approached this?
Yeah, Miles Garrett is unbelievable. First, before I get into Miles Garrett, I just want to take the time out before we get started to tell the people in the chat and that's tuning in to hit the like button and subscribe to the channels you see scrolling down below. Level Up Sports 10. You can find the post game podcast at Post Game 86 on YouTube. We truly appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what Miles Garrett is doing is truly unbelievable, Moss. But I don't know. he a half a sack away from breaking the all-time record held
Right.
by Michael Strahan and T.J. Watt, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how. And I'm not taking away nothing from Myles Garrett. We know he just amazing. But I don't know how much having the extra game in the NFL is benefiting these guys' stats.
Hmm.
Even though
Interesting.
he's at even though he's at 22 with what 2 games to go. So if the season would have ended, you know, a game earlier like it used to do back in the day, then
Hmm.
he probably wouldn't have the chance to obtain that sack record, or maybe he would just tie it. I don't
Agreed.
know. The man got 22 sacks, Moss.
It's crazy.
20, 22 sacks. And Myles Garrett been getting busy his
Yeah.
whole entire career. He has 124 and a half sacks. To me, there's so many great all-time pass rushers in the NFL, and when you look at the NFL throughout history,
Yeah.
Dwight Freeney, man, Julius Peppers, Michael Strahan, Jason Taylor, and the list goes on and on.
Come on, man.
That man get that sack record, we gonna have to reevaluate the top 10 pass rushers of all time, man. Like Lawrence Taylor and those guys. Those guys are all freakish athletes, and so is Myles Garrett. And
Yeah.
I think he's going to break the record come tomorrow. Cleveland plays Green or Pittsburgh tomorrow, right?
Pittsburgh. Cleveland got Pittsburgh tomorrow.
Yeah, with that, see, Pittsburgh is has been playing well as of late. I was really surprised how they dismantled Detroit, but they did it and they playing well.
Yep.
That offensive line isn't the greatest when it comes to pass protection. So I think Myles Garrett is going to get the record
Mm.
tomorrow. He's going to break the record. All he needs is a half a sack. I think he's going to get 2 sacks.
Ooh.
What's your thoughts, bro?
Man, with that's a great take. And I'm gonna ride you out. And guess what I'm gonna double back on to say with this one, man. I said after Pittsburgh, they got a great win last week. Shout out to Pittsburgh. They've been doing some great footballing, I'm gonna call it, as of people counting them out early, but doing their thing after they had that debacle earlier in the year. But I think this Myles Garrett comes out and gets 3 sacks. I'm gonna up you one post, and he makes the record look mediocre. As you said, man, Myles Garrett, I think, is a freak of nature. I think he's one of the players when you talk about a Julius Peppers, you don't get those type of ends every 10 years. He's the one of our century that we gonna go back, we're gonna remember. Aaron Donald graced us for just a few years. I wish Aaron Donald would come out of retirement and join Myles Garrett and just doing what they do. I think football would be even more of something to watch. But just my thoughts. But I think Myles Garrett's get 3 sacks tomorrow, and I say Cleveland gets the win, and they humble Pittsburgh as they're trying to get in late in the season. I don't know what it is. For me, Cleveland has been their kryptonite. They always play them tight, and I don't know. It may be that type of game where guess what? Pittsburgh, y'all had the chance to get Shador, if I'm not mistaken, and they passed up on him. You don't think that he has forgotten? So I think this game has a lot with the sack, the passing on Shador, a lot. It's a lot that's going to go into this game, and I think for me, I'm a pick tonight as we're talking, and I'm gonna pick tomorrow. And I'm gonna say the same thing: 3 sacks for Garrett and a victory for Cleveland. But it's just great as we talking right now on Myles Garrett, man, to see someone at his stature do what he do, and I think he can play with any era of NFL football and be just as good, if not better. And I think if you take away the one game, he still has 21 sacks. Wow, amazing. This guy is something different, something special. So for all those out there watching right now, or if those, young kids get a chance to tune in, take a look at Myles Garrett. Watch his work ethic. He works with the GOAT, as some of y'all think, some of y'all call. I'm gonna call him the GOAT while we here on this podcast because that's what the people call him right now, and that's LeBron James. He works out with LeBron, and they've been doing that for a few years. Um, I just think that's special. I haven't seen someone work out or with the type of frame that we see in LeBron that you see in Myles Garrett. It's the only person I've seen with that type of frame. But yeah, man, that's really all I could say, man. Garrett is gonna be a Hall of Famer if he's not already.
Miles Garrett, I think by now it's a consensus opinion. He's the best defensive end in the league today, right?
Yeah, I think right now I don't think you can, really take nothing away from that. Really put nobody up there in comparison. I think he is that. Um, just yeah, definitely. The next topic, I know me and you was we was talking about a lot. I know we have a guy named Parlay Poe, of course, of Blitzburg in our podcast. Make sure you go follow that channel as well. We had a hire over there up north. We got a lot of fans down at OSU here in the city. They call them that team up north. What's your thoughts on this hire for Michigan? They bring in a coach from Utah. A lot of talk was how he, came into Utah, led them to a few great seasons, Big 12 championship, I believe. Just prominence back with that program. What's your thoughts on the pressure? I think he faces some pressure coming right in. I think there's some pressure that he would face in winning right away. But what's your thoughts on this new hire we have in Michigan? And I wish we could have Parlay Paul on here to get a little more perspective. But shout out to everyone at the podcast team that's out, respectively, with your families, doing what you do for the holidays. That's why we're a group, because this is what we do, man. We're here for each other. So what's your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts is that this is an excellent hire by the University of Michigan. This is what you needed to do. You had to clean house. You had to get some fresh blood up in that program. And who better than Kyle Whittingham? This is an excellent, excellent hire, man. I just can't say that enough. Now, the only thing I would think about is how long is Michigan gonna have Kyle Whittingham as their head coach? Because he's getting up there in age, bro. I
Yeah.
believe he's in his 60s already. So how many years? I think he signed for 5 years. I highly doubt he plays out all 5 years.
Yeah.
Um, as far as you know, another thing we got to think about, and again, I think this is an excellent hire. But this man has been at the University of Utah since the 90s, coaching at some capacity. Think about that. It's 2025. The man been at Utah coaching at some capacity since the 90s. So the period and how he adjusts to, the Michigan's culture, the change in scenery is going to be interesting to watch. But outside of those things, I mean, this is a guy who's normally double digit wins
Mhm.
every season uh, for the University of Utah. I don't think that's easy to do for anybody. This is a guy who knows the game of football. This is a guy who has had many All Americans. He's going to a university with probably more money to play with, more opportunity to get the kind of athletes that he needs to be successful. So for the University of Michigan, and I'm a Notre Dame fan saying this, excellent hire. I don't know how long y'all gonna have Mr. Whittingham, but for the next couple of years, money hire. What's your thoughts, bro?
You know, the crazy thing for me, and shout out to everyone tuning in on Facebook. We got the Facebook Live I got going as well post game. We got a few people that chimed in on that record breaking as well. He think he will break the record as well. And then he said Cleveland for the win. I got a guy international to international in here watching it. And my man Kevin, he said time goes as fast as you make it. So for me, man, I think when you say Whittingham has been at that program, that's like people fail to realize how long that is. Like you said, it's 2025. We're a few days away from 26. That's decades. He's been at a program, and I think, like you said, it's an excellent hire because I think he'll tap in right away to the alumni. You can't be at a program for that long and bring prestige to it and not have tapped into the alumni at some point. I think he's going to get involved not just with the team. I think he goes in and does some things with the alumni to bring in some more players. You know, I think he may hit the transfer portal. We've seen what Utah has been able to do when he was there, just for the few years that we've had it, and we've seen that they've still been able to compete at a high level. And we're so close to the playoffs this past season if they wasn't hurt. So we definitely got to recognize what he's been able to do over the years, as well as him coming to a program like Michigan. This is a shot at this big program. I don't think he want to make no mistakes. That's coming into the program, from recruiting up until making sure that we're in the talk of this game against Ohio State. We either going to be in the Big Ten championship or we're not. We're going to be in the playoff or not. Those are the discussions that he want to be in when it comes to that November game. I think you have the right hire, and I think, like you said, with his age, you got to look at not. I'm not thinking wisdom, but he's been there before. He has that big game experience. Everything you could ask for, he's coming to that program, and you're souping him up with levels of talent. So those that are transferring and coming in, is he going to bring some from his program, or are some knowing what he can do with the program to change the culture and bring dynamics, getting that big house to not just 100, but 110, 120,000. Polar Bear, Parlay Po of Blitzburg, he know what I'm talking about. So I think that's something for me that, I'll be looking to see as well what happens with Underwood. Does he stay or does he go? But his name has not been circulating in any articles these last few days. So kudos to that team up north and the hire. The other, I know we was talking about so much today when we was chatting a little bit. I know me and you were. Another thing we chopped it up about, I have mentioned to you, Aaron Rodgers. We had so many things to say when it came to Aaron Rodgers last season, as we watched him come and go and then leave in free agency and become a Pittsburgh Steeler, feeling like he could possibly do something. But we had our thoughts, and he's made us a believer. I've always been an A-Rod fan, as I said, but I said what I've said. I think it was time for him to step down, but he's proven to me that you can still do it. When there's a will, there's a way. If you got that push, you got that drive, and we seeing that. Has Aaron Rodgers risen, and is he putting on for his Hall of Fame status? Is he letting people know I'm still Aaron, I'm still A-Rod, I'm still him, I'm still the GOAT that y'all thought I was? For me, that's what he's done. He's proven me wrong in some of the talks that I've said. So Aaron Rodgers, no disrespect, but from what we've seen, and now up until this point, I got to give you your flowers and what you've been doing, man. I don't know how tough this Pittsburgh team is, but I think they're a scary team. And if they can win Sunday, I think they get just a little tad more scarier because it's been a week by week. We've seen them do this, and then we've seen them disappear. Can they stay right here, right now, in the clear, make a run? Are they contenders? or they pretenders, or they chicken dinners for your Sunday dinner? What you thinking?
Well, I remember in the preseason, Mossberg, and I was telling the crew like Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you said
All
it.
you heard, all you heard was moans and groans. Shout out to Parlay Pope. I tried to tell you, bro. And I'm pretty sure that he's happy with the move. I
Yeah,
don't think nobody saw this coming, him playing this well. Pittsburgh just came off a game where they dismantled the Detroit Lions, bro. That was impressive for me. I know Detroit isn't what they were last year, losing their offensive coordinator and this being like a transition year. But with those weapons that team Detroit has, that was impressive. I'm gonna say something else too. Mike Tomlin's downfall has been exaggerated.
mm,
Look at how much consistency. I know they haven't won the Super Bowl in a while, but there's only one team that wins the Super Bowl in the NFL every single season, bro.
agree.
The consistency that Mike Tomlin continues to display for the Pittsburgh Steelers should be studied.
Study, man.
Now, they got 2 games left, and Baltimore is still creeping right behind them.
Yeah, Baltimore right there.
But Baltimore might be in trouble without Lamar Jackson playing.
Yeah,
But if Pittsburgh is able to handle business and finish the season strong, I think they can be a threat, man. You got to look at Aaron Rodgers, 66% completions, 2,860 yards,
yeah.
23 touchdowns for only 7 picks. He has a rating of 98.2, Moss. And
Super Bowl
why he
worthy.
doesn't, right, why he doesn't have the most explosive offense, he has explosive pieces with those running backs with Warren and Gainwell. You still got the big wide receiver. The tight ends are explosive. Offensive line could be better, but it's good enough. They'll have their hands full with Myles Garrett tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the way this defense is stepping up and how they playing, got Mike Tomlin as a coach. I think this Pittsburgh team, if they stay focused, I think they can go to the Super Bowl. I do. I know it's a wild card pick. There are other sexier picks in the AFC, but I really like this Pittsburgh Steelers team. And I was telling Parlay Pope, I think he said earlier in the season, like the defense is just trash. And I agree with him, but I told him I did not see this
Yeah,
defense not improving as the season went on. So
yeah.
shout out to Aaron Rodgers, man. And y'all better beware because it looked like that man is on a mission. What's
I,
your thoughts?
I totally agree with exactly what you said, and with even for me with the defense in Pittsburgh is crazy because just my thoughts. I would say where we at this point in the season compared to the first month and a half. I actually like the way their defense is playing, even through the few losses after that first month and a half. They're starting to gel when you get, I think, when you get a big time player coming in like Ramsey and you lose a player like Minka, you have to figure some things out. Then you plan through injuries as well. And the way Rodgers held out so long and not to know who your quarterback is, that could kind of, how you going left, going right. You don't know, as a defense, what you're going to do, as an offense, what you're going to do. I think you have to be able to know your quarterback to kind of scheme up and practice a certain way on the defensive side. So I think now that they have everything going, everything moving, shout out to Mike Tomlin and what you do. If he coached a different team every year in the NFL, he'll probably have 10 rings, which is crazy. people sit here and say, Marsh, you crazy for some of the say stuff you say post game. I think I only lost one game on each side that we picked when it came to last week. So, you know, I don't be just thinking and talking. I really be in tune to a lot. And I think Tomlin needs to get a lot more credit than what he's getting because when you coach in the NFL, you got to think when you're at an organization for so many years, you're not going to have the same guys opening that locker room door and going out that locker room door after games, after practice. It's going to be a multitude of guys. So for him to keep this franchise moving, though they haven't won a Super Bowl, he do got him one, but he's keeping his team relevant. If Pittsburgh get in, whether they're a wild card or not, they're a dangerous team because that defense, I think, if they're not a wild card, they possibly can get a home game. And that's scary. Pittsburgh at home in the playoffs in January. Last time that happened, post, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Santonio caught one in the corner. I don't know. But you know, Moss just be thinking and going back on history. But I think that's what happened last time Pittsburgh got them a home playoff berth and it was rocking. So it's just a lot to think about with this Pittsburgh team going into this game Sunday. Um, Parlay Poe, I know you watching. I know you hear us. We need you tomorrow. We want your thoughts on everything Pittsburgh. Blissburg. Make sure you go follow that channel. That's Parlay Poe. He's a diehard Pittsburgh fan. You just got to tap into that channel as well as all the channels and posts. You know, you're not getting out of here with one of the biggest questions. I know you stay locked into it. You right there on campus. You right around the corner. And I seen the guy. Shout out to the guy that was a Pacers fan. He's a Notre Dame fan. He's straight from there. I hope I can get him on. I hope he can reach out to me so we can get a little show and talk with it about the Indiana Pacers as well. But there's talks, there's rumors. We not Willie Beeman, but we talking about Coach Freeman to the New York Giants. Talk to me, Post. What's going on? They don't get in the bowl game. They don't. What's word on the street? What's going on in there?
I mean, anytime the off season comes and your coach is regularly, like clockwork,
Mhm.
mentioned as one of the candidates for any head coaching vacancy, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So I applaud Marcus Freeman. Everybody wants this guy. Everybody wants this. Every single head coaching vacancy that came open. Correct me if I'm wrong, Moss. Marcus Freeman name was mentioned amongst the candidates and the strong candidates. So that says a lot. It's a headache for Notre Dame fans like myself to hear that kind of talk every single offseason. Marcus Freeman is going here, he's going there, just for him to stay at Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Now, me personally, I don't think Marcus Freeman is going anywhere. I think leaving Notre Dame for the New York Giants would be a career killer. Uh, I'm not saying that the NFL isn't a good move if he wants that challenge,
Yeah.
but my problem is it's the New York Giants. Don't do it, bro. That
Don't
would
do
be a huge mistake and a career killer because if you go to the NFL and you're fired after 2 seasons, then where you go from there?
it. Right.
Where do you
You don't go
go?
back to South Bend.
Exactly. And I think he just hasn't made at Notre Dame. The ADS came out and said, we're willing to match whatever Marcus Freeman is being offered. So
Yeah.
he's going to be paid handsomely. And, it's whispers that a contract extension is coming for Mr. Freeman. I think his kids are happy in the area. I think his family is happy. He has the opportunity to do something special and submit his name in history with bringing Notre Dame a championship for the first time since the 80s. Should have got one in '93, but that's a whole different story. Uh, I just believe the only job, and I've said this before, the only job that would worry me for Marcus Freeman if it came open would be the Ohio State job. I don't see that happening, but that's the only job opening that would worry me as a Notre Dame fan. As far as the NFL, if a job like Kansas City, Indianapolis, jobs where the ownership and the foundation is set, Pittsburgh, jobs like that, then I'll be worried. But I'm not worried about Marcus Freeman leaving the University of Notre Dame for the New York Giants. Are you kidding me? This man gets to groom CJ Carr. And I'm gonna tell you this, Moss. Notre Dame will be better next season than they were last year. Outside of the two running backs, possibly the two best running backs in America entering the draft, I expect Notre Dame to be better at every single position. Quarterback CJ Carr with a year under his belt will be better. The running back room has depth. They don't have another Love or Price, but they got good running backs. The wide receiver room is going to be better with Greyhouse and Love, and possibly the wide receiver from Michigan State transferring over to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Tight end room will have more depth. The offensive line to be better. Tight end room better. Defensive line better. Linebackers better. DBs better.
Hey,
So
yo.
Marcus Freeman, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was about to say, because what you saying that y'all got a chance to send next year the most, I believe, in a while through the NFL draft as well, with everybody staying the years that they've stayed. And that's part of the Freeman effect.
Yep.
Players are not leaving early, they're staying. That culture, you know, him playing at the Ohio State University,
Hmm.
coming to Notre Dame, I think he's had the best of both worlds. You play at the Ohio State University, you come and coach at the profound Notre Dame, the Golden Dome, touchdown Jesus. It's like the mecca of football. You don't know unless you go. You got to be in the stadium to understand. Bro, if you're watching this, I appreciate you for the birthday this past year, taking me to South Bend. Man, nothing like it. I've been to a couple football games, but that stadium is different. It's like you're in it's like you're in a house watching a game on a big screen, and a big screen is right in your face. So it's just good to see the way that culture has changed. But not to cut you off, I just had to say that, man. Y'all will be sending what it looks like the best class through to the NFL next year.
Yeah, yeah, and that just speaks volume, man. Notre Dame is definitely a special place. I've been on campus countless times. You got to experience campus and that magical, unexplainable feeling when you first step on campus. I can't even explain it. But Marcus Freeman, I don't think the job is done at Notre Dame. Uh, he got some work to do, but he's in a great position.
Yeah,
He has more talent than any other Notre Dame team I could remember in recent years, and he's set up for success. So if you're comfortable there, there isn't too many better jobs in America than a head football coach at the University of Notre Dame. So he wants to win a championship or two before he even thinks about moving on. And I just think that's what it is. So I don't anticipate Marcus Freeman moving on to the New York Giants. People are saying, like, why is he so quiet? Why is he so quiet? Because if he comes out and says, I'm not going anywhere, there goes a bargaining chip for him. He want to stay quiet so that when he gets to that negotiating room, he has leverage. If he
yeah.
just comes out and says outright, I'm not going anywhere, he loses some leverage. So Marcus Freeman isn't going anywhere, at least
No,
not no time soon.
not at all. Man, I was trying to think because we was in the chat so heavy. We was talking about the college basketball as well. We was talking a little bit, I think, about the college basketball because we be so in tune to everything, man. What's who's your what's your thoughts on Who's that player? Who's that guy for you right now in college basketball? Not team, just this moment for these next few minutes. Might be 20. We talking about this one. Who's your guy? Who's your Naismith? Who's the player that you like? Who you talk about? I think a lot of the people know, who my guy is. We're gonna talk about a few, but who's your guy right now? College basketball.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take your guy, and I know I probably should pick somebody else, but what the heck, man? I can't. I don't want to talk about nobody else. But AJ DeBanson, man. AJ, BYU,
Yeah,
6'9", versatile, just sniper. You know, we were talking about that kid. I remember a year ago we were surprised that BYU was able to get the number one player in high school, and they paid up, they spent up for him, and
yeah,
he's been worth every red penny. That guy's special. He'll definitely be the first pick in the NBA draft, and whoever gets him is going to get a cornerstone for their franchise,
man.
uh, a franchise player, and I think he should be playing in the NBA right now.
Yeah,
But the rules are the rules or whatever. But man, that kid, man, the way he moves, the way he shoots, he's a versatile scorer. He can take it in and dunk it on your head. But what I'm really excited about is him having the opportunity to really make his mark and solidify his name once that March Madness starts. And
yeah,
that tournament starts and we get those brackets, that's when I want to see him really shine.
yeah,
And being, like I said, being having the opportunity to solidify his name amongst the greats in the game of college basketball. Now, we talk about players. When we talk about teams, the team that has impressed me the most, Moss, and I'm surprised because I didn't really see this coming. I thought they would be a good team, but I think they're the best team.
hmm
It's the Arizona Wildcats, bro.
yeah.
The Arizona Wildcats have been on. You hear me?
Balling.
Just think about the teams they've beaten thus far. They've beaten Florida, UCLA, UConn, Auburn, and Alabama. And they're gonna have plenty of more challenges once we get into conference play with
Yeah,
Iowa State, BYU, and teams like that. But the Arizona Wildcats, man, they've looked the best to me, in my opinion, in the whole entire country. They got everything: rebounding, shot blocking, size, length, shooting, one-on-one scoring. Cole Pete, the freshman, has been impressive. Verge, the freshman, has been impressive. So when we talk about individual players, AJ DeBansa, when we talk about teams, I think it's the Arizona Wildcats, my man. What say you?
man. I think everybody you pretty much know me. AJ is my guy. I've I've spoken about him numerous times. Just watching this kid play, I've I've not seen a player that reminds me of Tracy McGrady until I seen AJ. When I watched them play in that game when they played Clemson, the way he controlled the game down the stretch, being down double digits. I mean, you're talking about an 18-year-old kid playing college basketball. A lot of people fail to realize that these things just don't happen. These things don't come every day. I think we're looking at another player that's that generational talent that you're not going to see every day. You know,
Yeah,
we know what McGrady was to the NBA. That's a player that once you see him on the court, you know what McGrady was about. So I think he's coming with that skill set and more, and knowing that his goal is to want to get better. For you to be 6'9", you dribble, you step back, you overlook the defense, and then you get down to your offensive moves, and you got a bag. This kid has a bag that's just bag. I want to say his bag is bottomless. AJ the bouncer is my guy. I would love to go see BYU. Shout out to Richie Rich and the Q and the crew and the transfer guard that they got, because that boy is a cold-blooded assassin. And I think, when we talk about top teams, man, me and you've been going back in the chat, amongst ourselves about this. Like every week it's a big game. We literally up late night watching it. I think we watched the Arizona game late last week. And that's when I think I text you. I said, man, this Arizona team is really it. Like I watched that whole game. They have 7-footers that shooting a three. But not that. The 7-footer took a dribble and spent to the cup and dropped one off. I said, this Arizona team is legit. And you say Koa Pete, then you got, I forget the braid. Is it Braden, the guard that's been there
Talk
for.
about talk about Burries, the freshman guard.
Oh, no, I'm going to get to him. He different. He different. I'm going to call him Mr. 30 ball because he cranked it up. And I thought when I watched him, I was like, was he on anybody's radar as far as an All-American, the scout? Nobody said nothing about this kid, but he just walking in the three balls. At one point, he scored like I think about 9 or 11 straight points, 2 or 3 3-pointers, a little easy layup, and I'm just looking like, is anybody guarding him? Is he unguardable? Because that's what it looked like. But that just shows the talent that this Arizona team really brings. They got a whole bench that can come off, play. They play together. I think that team that's definitely going to be destined to go to the Final Four. Um, my choice prior to seeing Arizona last week was Duke. We know what Duke holds. You talking Cameron Boozer. You're talking about his brother. I call them the Booze Crew. That's what I'm gonna call them because when they come, you don't know which one is going to do what. But you don't know how it's going to come. It might come off the pick and roll. Low Booze might step out and shoot the three ball, but Cam Booze can shoot the three ball too. So then that nucleus that Duke team got, Evans is playing. They starting to come together, but I think this Arizona team is fully loaded, top to bottom, guard play. They tall, they lengthy, they're long, and athletic. But me and you also said just to stay within this college basketball talk. I think that's the best class that we've seen since LeBron, Wade, Melo, Bosh, that whole crew stepped into the NBA. I think this is the best draft class we're gonna see coming into the NBA. What's your thoughts on that?
Best class since what was it? 03?
Since '03.
Man, that is a very long time. Um, I can see that. I can see that. But the thing that excites me, one of the things that excites me about the prospects coming into the draft is we got a little mixture of both, but we got some American born stars
Yeah,
that are going to be able to go to the league this up and coming draft. Do I believe it's the best since '03? Mm, I think potentially they could be the best draft class since '03. It's hard to really cap that question right now, without having all the information in front of me and all the players throughout the years since 2003. But with AJ DeBansa, the Boozer kid, and a multitude of other players, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's the best class since '03. The '03 class was crazy. But you know what's even crazier about that draft is that LeBron James probably played with everybody in the top 10 from that draft.
yeah, 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 yeah. We got cousin Bell chiming in on the Pittsburgh will look crazy if Mike Tomlin isn't the head coach. We definitely agree. Definitely agree on that one. And then we appreciate you tuning in as well, Unc. We got WTP for life in here this evening watching. And shout out to you on your vacay. Enjoy yourself down there, man. Bring us all a souvenir back from the mall. But he said, are there more than 10 one and done players this year.
Oh, absolutely. It might be 30 of them.
Yeah,
It's you would think. Um, I think NIL affects college basketball as far as kids making a decision to stay in school or go pro. But I kind of think college football affects it more
yeah,
than college basketball. Because if you a lottery pick, you out of there. In the college game, you got a little bit to think about with the type of money that they making in the NIL era.
yeah. I agree. I definitely think so. I was just sitting here thinking I might have been at 10. You got, I know for sure, I think it's 10 that can go. It's going to be up to them and, their families respectively. But we see for sure Boozer and his brother, they said can possibly both go. AJ DeBan, so we know he's gone. You got one in Tennessee, and Matt, he could possibly go. Of course, Koa from Arizona, he can go. They got another tall 7 foot freshman that can actually go this year. I think it's for sure 10 or more players that can go after this year. And for myself, I think it's just the potential. We can't judge because we don't know, but we can always have our opinion. We can always put it in the air. I definitely think the potential is going to be crazy. I think this is going to be a big argument come 3 to 4 years after, and the effect, I think, just alone and what AJ and Boozer are going to do to the NBA. I think just the effect that them two going to have, I think there's going to be a big argument along with a few others because the growth in some of these players and when they come in and their hunger, I think that's something that I'm starting to see a lot more. You seeing some players that's a little more hungry. You see Dylan Harper, who was a freshman last year. He's over there in San Antonio. He just got a big dunk in the game the other day against OKC. So you seeing some of these young players come into the league and they're a little hungry. So you can kind of talk about some different comparisons when it comes to draft class players. You can always have your talk, but it's definitely something to look at. Appreciate you
Yeah,
tuning in as well.
yes, sir. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. Some more teams. I mean, shout out to Parlay Pope, but his Michigan Wolverines look scary on the men and the women's side. So those are teams. I would say Arizona, Iowa State,
Yeah,
Michigan, UConn. You can never count them out. But those are some of the teams to really watch for. Houston is still in the mix.
yeah. I like that. I like that freshman guard Flemings they got. Have you seen him go?
Yes,
That
He's projected to be a top 15 pick.
that
That
I won't lie. He reminds me like people can say what they want. I'm Mossberg. I'm gonna have my opinion. I'm gonna talk my talk, and I'm gonna spit what I'm gonna spit. But that kid, he might not have the athleticism, but he got quickness like Derrick Rose. Can't nobody say he don't. I
yeah.
love the way that kid plays the game of basketball and knowing what he has on his team to be that young. So I think he could definitely be a lottery pick in next year's NBA draft.
Well, actually, Moss, he's projected to go sixth overall. So yeah, I see him up close and personal with my Irish play in Houston, and yeah, that kid got go.
Gotta go. Where we at? For we gotta. I'm trying to think. When we when we talked about the Houston, I mean the OKC, because the two big games that I was really thinking about was the San Antonio OKC, and then of course the Houston LA matchup. Let's dive into this OKC San Antonio. But before we do that, we got WTP. We got Unc. He said, "Do y'all have an early Final Four prediction?" If you have any of those Final Four predictions, put them in the comments. Facebook, we appreciate you tuning in and watching as well as I have the Facebook Live going from my phone. If you have any thoughts, any comments, make sure you leave them. You can join us live right now. Level Up Sports 10 on YouTube, WTP Sports Dudes on YouTube. And it's a lot other channels on there as well. We got Post Game 86. You can join that channel as well. If you go through our group page, we also got Parlay Po Blitzberg podcast. We got SEC Sean, got NASCAR, got Texas High School Football. We City League TV. As you see the shirt in the background, make sure you check us out. We moving. We on YouTube. We everywhere. And we got One Take Zay coming as well. So make sure you stay tuned in and locked in to everything. Facebook, we appreciate you. And we appreciate you here live with us as you tuned in as well. And I don't know. What's your thoughts on your Final Four, Post? What's your thoughts?
So thus far, I have Arizona, Iowa State, Duke, and I'm gonna say BYU. Those would be my Final Four teams right now.
Ah man, I'm gonna take instead of Iowa State. I'm gonna place a team from the Big Ten in there. Zay got me hip to your boy, man. Last year, Kaufman ran, and that boy's been coming into his own lately. After that Purdue loss to Iowa State, that was. I have Purdue in the Final Four this year because they've been there before. I think when you get in that tournament, I think Kaufman ran Braden Smith, who's up for Naismith this year. I think they know what's up. I think they know what's going on. And this is named Hoyer. Him and Smith been there for years together. I think that's the first time that backcourt has been like that, and they've played together. I think you're talking about like a brotherly love back there. And we not in Philly, but we in Purdue. We in Boilermaker Nation with it. So I think I'm gonna put Purdue there. You know, I'm putting my boy AJ and them Cougars. You know, I'm putting them there for sure. I like your pick with Arizona, and I got to go with Duke as well. I think there's a couple more teams I would like to put on here. I think it could be an argument about it being on there. I think we'll have another prediction, but this is just early, and you know how we do. So we both got Arizona. Only thing different is Iowa State and Purdue. We both got Duke and BYU. So we'll see if it comes true, because you know how our predictions do. But anyways, man, likewise, man, we appreciate y'all, man, always tuning in with us. This is what we do as the questions keep coming. Good question coming in. WTP Unk has put it in the air. We're going to slide over to some more NBA talk after this question. Will the Joker leave Denver when his contract is up?
That's a really great question. My goodness. If the if I'm the Lakers, I don't know if I would pursue a guy like Joker. But I mean, I would like it, but I can see why they wouldn't pursue the Joker. And here's why. If you add Joker to Luca and possibly even to Austin Reeves, that's a really slow-footed, unathletic team. They are already slow-footed and unathletic right now. I just think a guy, if they had the choice between Joker and Giannis, I think they would rather shoot for Giannis. And I mean, I don't know Joker. I think Denver can offer him, the super duper max or whatever. But I don't. Joker is hard to read because I don't know if he's happy there. I don't know if that's just his personality where he seems uninterested. I don't know. He's hard to, read. So will he leave Denver? I mean, I doubt it, but man, that's right now it's just hard to say.
We appreciate you tuning in. Is it Sid Mark? Their defenses on the field a lot. That's why. Which be more specific because we talked about a few things. I know can't remember exactly which one. Maybe Pittsburgh discussions. Um, that's the only thing a little bit as far as in the football we talked about Cleveland as well a little bit in that one. But yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, it would be good for him to be. That's what they would like, probably, possibly. Who knows? For him to be in LA. I don't know. Like, I think he do leave Denver, but do he go to LA? That's a great question. I don't know. I would think they would try to do Luca and Joker together, but like you said, they'd be a lot slower. Like, then I mean they had to bring more in, so somebody got to go. I think he leaves Denver, but he goes somewhere where he could be more of help. Yeah, I agree with Giannis being there, and it's a question that's out there too. Whereas you got Giannis out there that they pretty much don't know what's going on with him as of late. The next one he popped in with the question. He says, "Should Philly go ahead and eat the MB contract, or see if they can get some type of return for him?" They need
Uh,
a refund.
I I actually like what I've been seeing from Embiid. I know they've been load managing him quite a lot. They've been having him on load management a lot this season, and I think
Hmm.
they try to simply protect their asset. But when he's on the floor and he's healthy, I don't think he's at that same MVP level that he was at a couple years ago. But I think he's still one of the better centers in the NBA,
Yeah,
and he probably isn't even 100% healthy because they low managing him a lot this season. But I don't think you will get anything worth his value if you would try to put him on the trade block. So if I'm Philly, I like the young pieces I got with Edgecombe and Maxwell or Maxie, what's his name, Moss?
Max, Tyrese.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
yeah, Tyrese, yeah, those guys. I like the young pieces they have. So I'm gonna just let things play out with Embiid. If I'm Philly, I wouldn't try to make a move or eat the contract because he still has value, but he doesn't have enough value to where you feel like you trade him and you get something big in return, unless you find a fool. But we'll see what happens. I say stand pat for now.
you know what time is coming up on. This is a question we should have asked you, but it's getting close to January. You know what time it is. It's time for that money, right? Go ahead and get that tax refund for MB. It ain't happening. I think it's time you bring in VJ. You got Maxi. I remember when Iverson and McKee ran that backcourt in Philly. That's when Philly was really different. They didn't need no big that's dominant like at the scoring aspect. They just needed a big to defend that rim and get his buckets, get him a double double throughout the season. A few games stretch, just hold down your paint, have that forward position, and what we doing with that? They Philly have those things now. I think Embiid's time is up in Philly. I think it's time to get that tax refund, holiday cash, New Year coming in, roll on out, get that bag for him, Philly. I just think his time is up, man. I think for me personally, I'm tired of hearing about the MB situation in Philly. It's been that talk every year. Every year. What are they gonna do at MB? Quite frankly, y'all tried to figure out what y'all gonna do with Tobias Harris. I know he's chilling. He over there like, man, I'm glad. I know I might not have wanted to leave, but I'm over here in Motown, getting wins now. And B, I have nothing against your game or anything, but injuries play a plague, and some of these players, and he's one that we've seen injuries play a part. Now, if he's healthy, we of course would be talking differently. But the true fact is, he's not healthy. It's been load management for literally the last 2 years. It seems like almost three. Load management. How long is he gonna play when he come in the game? How long can he play through the season? We gonna shelf him for a few weeks till we get this playoff push, and then by then y'all might not even be at that position to be in the playoffs, or y'all gotta play some tough team. And then when he come back, he's not in that right shape for what's going on. So it's time for him to go. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's it. Nothing against him, great player, but it's another one from Kentucky that wear the same number 21 that's gonna be coming to the league. Acquaintance, I see you. Nah, for as for me, um, we right over an hour. We just man, we really we sorry for the delay. I know we normally on early on a Saturday morning. It's just been the holiday season. We all got a lot going on, but one thing we do, one thing for certain, is we love coming to y'all talking our sports, talking what we talk, and bringing y'all just different topics as we discuss and come together and have our thoughts on and freestyle and cook up and do what we do, in which we love. So if it's you out there, if you don't know what this is in the back, that's City League TV. We working with City League TV. We coming out, we streaming the live sports, things like that throughout the city. So if it's you, you're a coach, um, you're a parent, with a kid that plays sports respectively, bring that conversation to Moss and Post. We're gonna put something together for you and have a great conversation. Anytime that you would like to set that up, make sure you reach out to us. We have emails as well as if you check out our pages, of course, I'm about to give you the download and all that good stuff. But first and foremost, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. It takes a like and a subscribe, but most of all, sometimes when you scroll and you stop, that means the much more than anything. You stop and you choose to be here with us. So we appreciate that this evening. Anything you want to say to the people, Post?
No, just thank y'all for tuning in and continuing to rock with us. We see the support, but we notice a lot of people who are watching aren't subscribing and hitting the like button. If you're watching, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps us out tremendously, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Make sure we got that. Well, I forget what it's called in the chat. We have the chat as well, where if you, of course, in our comments, talk it up. We had a super chat, so make sure you show some love, man. Drop something in the super chat. It's always appreciated. We're gonna be doing this for the rest of our lives. I don't see it stopping. It's gonna be coming at you every day. Tomorrow we're gonna be on. We'll get in the chat. Just make sure if you liked and you subscribe, turn your notifications on as well. Because sometimes we might switch it up from 10. But if you got that notification on, you'll know we on. And tomorrow we'll be on up early. I say maybe 10, maybe 11. We just don't know. But make sure you have that like on, that subscribe on, and those notification bells ringing. Because you could tap into WTP for Life. You see at the bottom of the screen, Level Up Sports 10, myself, Mossberg, Parlay Poe of the Blitzberg podcast. And you see post game. That's who's on the other side, post game 86. City League TV on Facebook as well. We got One Take Zay. We're going to switch that over for y'all coming the next stream. And then we got SEC Shine as well. And we're going to add another one, the great Griffey Griff, who's out watching his daughter's game tonight at World Harvest. So just make sure, like he said, man, y'all stay tuned in, like, subscribe, and we appreciate the support. Facebook, we appreciate you when we see you as well. Make sure y'all stay tuned in with the guys from the Dub and the Midwest over there in Bendon World. That's post game in ND and South Bend. So other than that, man, we appreciate you all tuning in for it with us this evening. As we always do, we was in the building and now we out. Peace.